got to talk about the ways in which the Labour Party is deeply wedded to classism, deeply wedded to a narrative that the decent working class is aspirational and upwardly mobile, and there is a kind of indecent, underclass of people who experience, intergenerational deprivation, who have been unable to climb one of those ladders of opportunity, which Robert Halfron talks about, which essentially is a way of rising out of your class, either you yourself alone or your household, but it's a way in which you leave your community behind because you see them as kind of, a human cesspit of unproductive and socially corrosive values. And I think, I'm ashamed to say that the Labour Party and also the wider left, I think, is also invested in this idea of the kind of, decent and deserving working class, which is upwardly mobile, and the undeserving working class. And I think this comes back to the point which Sammy has made very articulately about the flip side to social mobility is downward mobility. And it's not just about economic precarity, although of course that's there. It's not just about what it's like to live without a house or in incredibly low wage, precarious and low status work. But it's also about the loss of that cultural and social status as well. What does it say about you if you're one of the families which was depicted on Benefit Street? Or, you've got all of the kind of cultural signifiers of being a member of a so-called underclass, that kind of proximity to abjectness and criminality, which are just really the social symptoms of economic deprivation, a lack of resources, and a sense that, not just you can be airlifted and winched out of your community, but there can be a rising tide which lifts all boats. And unfortunately, the Labour Party, I think in its and this is a problem which goes much deeper than any one leader of the Labour Party. I always think about Tony Blair sending his kids to the London Oratory because, God forbid, his children only became doctors or lawyers. It is really an investment in upward mobility and retaining a society which is still very much stratified by class, but has got new ways of blaming people for their immiserated conditions, if indeed they live in them.